He mopped floors for 12 hours a day. People walked past him like he was invisible. Some even laughed at him. But 20 years later, that same man signed a check for $3.2 million to buy the very building he used to clean. This is a true story about patience, dignity, and the power of never giving up. Stay till the end, because what he did with that money will surprise you even more.
Welcome back to the channel, where we tell real stories that remind you, no matter how low you are right now, your story is not over. If you believe in second chances, hit that subscribe button, because today's story will stay with you for a long time.
His name was Daniel. At 19 years old, Daniel dropped out of college. Not because he was lazy, but because his father got sick, and someone had to pay the bills. He took the only job he could find, a janitor at a small office building downtown. Every morning at 5 a.m., while the city was still asleep, Daniel would walk in with his mop and bucket. He cleaned toilets. He emptied trash cans. He scrubbed floors that other people dirtied without even looking at him.
The employees in that building had big titles: managers, directors, executives. They wore suits. They carried coffee cups worth more than Daniel's daily wage. And most of them never said a single word to him. To them, he was just furniture. Someone who existed to make their world clean, but not important enough to notice. One day, a young executive dropped his files right in front of Daniel and said, "Watch where you're standing next time." Daniel picked up every paper without saying a word.
That night, on his way home, tired, humiliated, and broke, he made a decision that would change his entire life. Daniel decided, "I will not be angry. I will be better." He started using his early mornings differently. Before starting work, he would sit in the break room for 30 minutes and read business magazines that employees left behind, old newspapers, discarded reports, anything with information in it. He didn't have money for classes, so he taught himself.
He learned about real estate. He learned how buildings were bought, rented, and sold. He learned how small investments, done consistently, could grow over time. For 3 years, Daniel saved almost every dollar he earned. He lived on the bare minimum. No new clothes, no entertainment, just rent, food, and saving. With his small savings, he bought his first tiny piece of land on the edge of the city, a place nobody wanted. People laughed. His own coworkers said, "Why would a janitor buy land? Stick to your mop." Daniel said nothing. He just kept working, cleaning by day, learning and planning by night. 2 years later, that worthless piece of land was needed for a new highway project. The government paid him 4 times what he originally paid. For the first time in his life, Daniel had real money in his hands. But instead of spending it, he did something smarter. He reinvested every dollar into small properties, one at a time. He didn't quit his janitor job. Not yet. He wanted to stay grounded. He wanted to remember where he came from. Slowly, quietly, over the next 15 years, Daniel built a small portfolio of properties. He made mistakes. He lost money on a few deals. He almost gave up more than once when a bad investment nearly wiped out his savings. But every time he fell, he remembered one thing. "I already know how to survive with nothing, so I have nothing left to fear." That mindset made him fearless. By the time he turned 42, Daniel owned 12 properties across the city. And then, one afternoon, he received a call. The very same office building where he once mopped floors, the building where a man once told him to watch where he was standing, was going up for sale. Daniel walked into that building, not with a mop, but with a briefcase. The same reception desk, the same elevators, the same hallway he used to clean at 5 a.m. He sat across from the building's owner and signed the papers. $3.2 million. He didn't buy it for revenge. He bought it because it represented something bigger than money. It represented proof. Proof that the man everyone ignored had quietly built a life no one saw coming. When the news spread, some of his old coworkers reached out, almost embarrassed. Daniel didn't hold a grudge. Instead, he did something nobody expected. He created a scholarship fund for the children of janitors, cleaners, and low-wage workers in his city, so they could go to college without struggling the way his family once did.
Daniel's story isn't really about becoming a millionaire. It's about this. The job you're doing right now does not define your future. Your discipline does. Nobody is coming to save you. But if you keep learning, keep saving, keep showing up with dignity even when the world disrespects you, your moment will come. You don't need permission to dream big. You just need patience and the courage to start small.